This is the Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip. That's how I feel about this show. It was pretty decent, and it is slipping and sliding down to ridiculous. This will be a short video. This is what, season 3, episode 5. Pepsi plans a workout. 3 people show up: Whitney, Heather, and Leah. Leah, let me talk to you for 2.2 seconds. This is, it's a couple things. Black women and white really don't understand white women. And I'm going to say the reason why for a few things. Number one, we don't talk about our period this much. I mean, every single episode, we're on episode 5, and she has been talking about her period every single episode. Do I care about your period? No, I don't care about your period. And some of these women don't have a period anymore. I don't think I've ever seen on any of these housewife shows anybody talk this much about a period. We are not 10. We are not 15. We're grown women. We don't talk about our period. Anyway, um, and then she goes on a trip. I mean, she goes to the day trip with everyone, right? And I mean, there's this whole scene where she thinks that the bug went up her dress, which then would have went up her vagina. Here's my question. She has mentioned multiple times that she's not wearing underwear. So you have diarrhea. We all know this. Number one. Number two, you're on your period and you're doing all this with no underwear. That is so disgusting. Like on so many levels. And you're doing this in a hot climate. So when she passes out at when they go shopping, like, don't lift my legs too high. I have no underwear. And that's another thing. I I don't think I've ever had an open conversation with people. Oh my gosh, I'm not wearing underwear. Like, how does this become a part of public discourse? Keep some things private. And of course, you're gonna sweat ridiculously down there in a hot climate with no underwear. It's disgusting. You gotta stink. You have got to stink. When you're on your period, you stink. I mean, it changes your odor. And you're sweating. And you have no underwear. All of that combined, because no underwear and no underwear makes you sweat a bit. No underwear in a hot climate makes you sweat even more. Plus the mixture, you need to soak when you get back to the hotel. Soak all that. Um, so Giselle is talking to Portia about this missing bottle of alcohol. And I don't care. Portia doesn't like Candace and Leah. Cool. I don't like the fact I don't know what my notes meant. That Candace would know about. Yeah, I do know. Candace Candace made a joke about um about Portia. It was funny. But rude. Anyway, about her knowing about she would know about daddy. Like, I was like, wow. because she's the one about like being the sugar mom because it was in reference to Pepsi acting like being like a sugar daddy or like treating having sugar babies. And then Candace is like, well, Portia would know. And it's like, okay. Um, okay. Anyway, Leah passes out. They pretty much leave her there. I don't like how Portia is really coming off as like, well, Portia's coming off a little bit more of the mean girl than Giselle is. And being like, you're criticizing Leah for passing out and it's like having attention. She overheated. She passed out. She's clearly dehydrated. Like, how do you not have a bottle of water and doing all of this, no underwear, and you have diarrhea? Like that to me, that is nonsensical, but it's not my business, right? So, I don't understand Portia making and Giselle, but heavily more Portia criticizing Leo on that. I just think that was inappropriate. Heather and Whitney. Okay, so Whitney makes a comment about, I'm just gonna let it go about this argument, about our disagreement with Heather and why I have a problem with Heather because no one really understands. You're right, nobody cares. So fast forward, Heather, Whitney, and Candace all goes and gets weed. I'm gonna let you know right now, Heather and Whitney are way too knowledgeable about the weed. Okay, like they know everything about the weed for sure, which I think is kind of fascinating. So Giselle sits there when everybody gets there, minus Leah, and she interrogates everyone about this bottle of liquor being missing. And she goes through the list. This person needs to figure out, this person needs to figure out. And I was just like, wow, all of this is a lot. And it and then in that instance, Candace turns around and it's like, let's talk about that Instagram where the two people who aren't tagged is Leah and me. He's like, okay, okay, it's my Instagram. I can tag who I want. That's fair. And Candace is like, yeah, it's cyberbullying. Okay, now everybody's like, oh no, it's not cyberbullying. I don't really have a I don't think I have anything to say. I don't know if I have anything meaningful to say. I don't think it's cyberbullying, but it is rude. Pretty much everybody has a problem with Candace, and so Portia pushes back and is like, "Why is it that you yell and is loud?" I don't think she's yelling. She may just be talking loud, but why does she have the need to talk so loud? Um, And so Portia's bringing that up. And pretty much collectively, everyone now seems to have a problem with Candace and think that Candace is loud and excessive. I don't know how I feel about them treating Candace this way. Because part of me, it's difficult to not think of this as a racial thing. But on the other hand, it's also difficult to not to realize that Candace is a lot to process with. And I could see walking on eggshells to try to figure out how to deal with Candace because she's not as easygoing as Portia and Giselle are. But that also tells you, too, Portia is dingy. So she's kind of hard to process with. She's just there for a good time. You can't have a conversation with her. That's a bit much. I know it's unpopular opinion. I don't mind Giselle. I think it's because it's the AKA. We're both AKAs. I don't mind her, but whatever. But this whole idea of everyone, it brings up that everybody has a problem with Candace. So I don't know. The only person who seems to like her is Leah. And Heather's often, Heather and Whitney, they just fly by the night. So it's whatever. They come back. Candace um goes to use the bathroom in Leah's bathroom. And she's like, there's a tampon in the toilet. Just ignore that. I didn't flush it. Ma'am, we're not supposed to put tampons in the toilet. I don't understand Leah. Leah's hygiene would be a problem for me. And then Candace tells this story to Leah about Portia not liking her, and she puts 10 on 20. Portia literally just said, I don't like her. We don't vibe together. That's what she said. We don't vibe together. Somehow that translated to in Candace's mind that Portia don't F with you. I mean, they're not unsimilar, but on the same sense, it seems like that's a little extra. Giselle is stuck on finding this bottle of alcohol. And I think that Pepsi knows what happened with the bottle, and Pepsi is stressed. The fact that he's crying over this bottle, crying because they're loud and they're getting into it, is pretty sad. Giselle is like stuck on finding this bottle. Candace is making it very difficult in finding this bottle. I think this is a very strange debate that I really don't care about. But who knows what's going to happen next episode? How many episodes is in this? Eight. How many episodes is in the show as a whole? How about we find that out? Because this just seems like the never ending. Come on now, how many shows is in the Ultimate Trip? Because this seems like this is just never going to end. And it's not necessarily good. I can't, they're not going to show me what it's not horrible, but it's not also good either. So there's that. Let's see. Okay. So there's 5 episodes this season. Let's see how many episodes. Oh, it's only like 7 or 8. Oh, so that's not bad. So I think we could get over this in 8 and 7, I guess. That's not terrible. That's not terrible at all. Okay. So let's end this here in saying that we only got a couple more episodes. We got this. We got this. All right.